Hey there. Tonight, we travel gently back in time to a place built of stone and silence, where wind whispers through arrow slits and shadow stretch long beneath wooden beams. You're about to awaken softly on your very first night inside a medieval castle, not as a guest or a lord, but simply as someone living there, sleeping there. But before we begin, if you find comfort here, please support the channel by liking, subscribing, and leaving a gentle comment about where you're watching from. It truly warms my heart to know you're enjoying this and that we're helping make your nights a little more restful. And now, our story begins. You're lying on something rough. It crinkles softly beneath your body. Straw, maybe. And it smells faintly of damp hay and old wood. The stones beneath you are cold, colder than you expected. You don't open your eyes just yet. Instead, you breathe slowly, letting the quiet press against you like a thick wool blanket. Not warm, but present. Somewhere above, the castle creaks, a tired moan of timber and iron, the kind of sound that makes you feel like you're inside a living thing, alive with memories, ancient, heavy. You turn your head slightly and feel the texture of the wall beside you, gritty, uneven stone, chilled by the night air. There is no glass in the narrow window, only a slice of moonlight drifting in, pale and silent, brushing your feet like a ghost. You've made it through the day. Hard labor, long hauls, the clang of iron on iron, and now, finally, this is your time to rest. Sort of. Because here, in this place, even rest comes with a price. You shift slightly in your makeshift bed, and the straw beneath you sighs with a soft rustle. It scratches your skin where the coarse blanket has slipped off your shoulder. The fabric is thin, not much more than a worn layer between you and the bite of the chill. Your breath clouds faintly in the air. Even indoors, the temperature hugs the edges of freezing. The castle isn't built for comfort. It's built to endure. Walls of stone, 3 feet thick, no insulation, no fireplace in this part of the hall. Above you, heavy beams hold the ceiling in place, blackened with soot from generations of smoke. They stretch like the ribs of some ancient beast. You listen. The silence is not quite silent. It's full of small sounds, distant ones. The scrape of rats in the pantry, the low hum of wind through the battlements, a sleepy grunt from someone else nearby, curled into their own patch of straw. You're not alone here, not truly, but in the thick dark of the castle's lower quarters, it certainly feels like you are. Somewhere up high, on another floor altogether, the lord and lady of the keep have likely gone to bed. Their chambers are warmer, tucked near the heart of the stronghold. A roaring fire, thick curtains, down-stuffed bedding, silken pillows embroidered by hand. But for you, there is only this stone, this straw, this blanket woven from rough wool and patience, and your boots, still damp, tucked beneath your head as a pillow. You pull the blanket tighter around yourself, tucking your fingers beneath your arms. The corners of your hands sting from the day's work, splitting firewood, hauling water, grinding grain. And though your body aches in the dull, familiar way of toil, it is not discomfort that keeps you awake. It is the stone, the unyielding floor beneath you. You can feel it pressing into your hip bone, your shoulder blade, your spine. No matter how you turn, it never softens, never warms. It's the kind of cold that seeps up from below, slow and patient, like a rising tide. It doesn't stab or bite. It simply claims you, bit by bit. You wonder how many others have lain right here. How many pairs of tired eyes have stared into the same darkness? How many aching bodies have turned this way and that, seeking a little comfort on a bed that never gives? And still, there is something sacred in this stillness. The way the castle wraps around you, sheltering you from wind and wolves. The way the high ceiling makes you feel small, not in a frightening way, but in a way that reminds you the world is ancient, and you are just one quiet breath within it. A sound, close, a slow, dragging cough. Old Marjorie, perhaps, 3 bedrolls down. She's been here for years. A cook by day, a weaver by night. She tells stories of warmer winters, though none can remember them. You close your eyes. Try to focus on your breathing. Count each inhale, each exhale. But it's hard when every breath draws in the scent of stone dust and mildew. Still, it's better than the smoke-soaked furs in the great hall. Better than sleeping outdoors. You're lucky, really. Or so they say. A roof overhead, a steady meal, and a place, however cold, to lay your head. The wind picks up again outside. It rushes through the murder holes and narrow slits in the walls, the ones meant for archers, but now just gateways for the night air. You feel it dance across your ankles, slipping through the blanket's edge like curious fingers. You shift again, find a new position, rest your cheek against your rolled-up tunic, and wait, not for sleep, not exactly, but for that moment when your mind finally drifts, when the aches fade, and the stone no longer feels quite so cold. You think of the fire in the great hall, still glowing, perhaps, in the hearth, now just embers. You imagine curling up beside it, the warmth reaching your bones, the scent of burned wood wrapping around you like a second skin. But that fire is too far now, and even if it weren't, that space is for others, guards, pages, the steward when he's in a good mood. For now, you are here, on this floor, with this stone, and somehow, despite it all, you begin to feel your body surrender, not in defeat, but in acceptance. This is your place, and tonight, it is enough. The minutes pass slowly, the way only nighttime minutes can. There is no clock, of course. No ticking hands, no glowing numbers. Time here is measured by the cooling of stones, by the changing rhythm of the wind, by the long, slow drift from thought to dream. You shift again. Your back presses into a lump of straw that pokes through the thin cloth beneath you. You reach under, rearranging it gently. Your fingers brush something small, a pebble, maybe, and you flick it away into the shadows. This part of the castle isn't a proper sleeping chamber. It's a storage room by day, a passageway sometimes. But at night, when the torches are out and the footsteps have faded, it becomes something softer. A hush settles over the stones, and this patch of floor becomes, just for a few hours, a place to rest. You glance toward the narrow window, slit again. The moonlight has shifted, a little dimmer now, a little lower on the wall. Time is moving, gently. You stretch one leg beneath the blanket and find another body nearby. Someone else curled on the floor. Their back is to you. You recognize the quiet breathing, the faint rustle of linen. It's Ewan, the boy from the stables. He always smells faintly of horses, even after washing. Tonight, the scent is oddly comforting. Alive, warm, familiar. Someone coughs again, this time further off. Then quiet. The sound of your own heartbeat becomes more noticeable in the silence. Not loud, just present. A slow thump in your ears, steady as a drum beneath a distant hill. You let yourself relax again. Try to melt into the floor, if such a thing is possible. The trick is not to fight it, not to wish for feathers or furs or fireplaces. Just accept. The way stone accepts the weight of walls, the way wind accepts the turning of the trees. You think of the kitchens, of the heat from the hearth earlier today, the bread you helped shape with flour and water, the way the dough clung to your fingers, the way the oven's warmth kissed your cheeks when the door opened. That heat is gone now, but the memory lingers like the echo of a lullaby. Your fingers play absently with the edge of your blanket. The wool is coarse, and one corner is unraveling slightly. You follow the thread with your touch, tracing it like a trail on a map. It leads nowhere, of course, but the motion is soothing. Another sound, this one unexpected, from above, a soft creak, like a door being opened. Then, nothing. You imagine a guard changing shift, someone moving through the corridor with a lantern, its glow barely touching the stones. Or perhaps a noble restless in their bed, pacing near the fireplace, their thoughts tangled in the matters of the realm. Your thoughts, by contrast, are quiet now, small, local. How many hours until morning? Will the fire be relit when the bells ring? Will there be hot porridge? Will your boots be dry? These are the kinds of questions that live here. Questions shaped not by ambition, but by survival, by comfort in its simplest form. You roll onto your side. The straw shifts again, sighing beneath you. Your shoulder finds a softer patch. Your hip finds a flatter one. It's not exactly comfort, but it's bearable. Outside, the wind picks up once more. This time, it carries the scent of wet leaves and wood smoke. Somewhere in the distant dark, a dog barks once. Then silence returns. You wonder briefly what the castle looks like from the outside at this hour. A black silhouette against a dark blue sky, its towers rising like old fingers toward the moon. Torches extinguished, gates closed, only the stars watching, unblinking. You imagine the drawbridge lifted, the moat quiet, reflecting the sky like a still pond. Inside, it's quieter now. Even the small sounds have gone hush. The coughing has stopped, the rustling too. You're alone with your breath, with the cold, with the stone, and strangely, you don't mind, because this stone has held so many sleepers before you. It's heard whispered prayers, felt the tears of the sick, cradled the weary. It doesn't judge. It doesn't change. It simply is. You let your fingers fall still. Let your breathing slow. And though the chill is still there, pressing gently against your skin, and the straw still pokes in small, stubborn places, your body begins to surrender to the heaviness of sleep, not out of comfort, but out of exhaustion, out of habit, out of trust. Your thoughts grow softer now, looser. Images flicker behind your closed eyes. A loaf of bread on a wooden table, the glow of coals in the hearth, the echo of footsteps down a long corridor, and then just stillness, just the deep, patient dark, wrapped not in silks or down, but in something older, something quieter, the stone beneath your feet, the same that once held knights, scribes, servants, and kings, cradles you now, and in its quiet, you finally begin to drift. The morning hasn't arrived yet, but somewhere above you, another world is already asleep. Upstairs, behind carved doors and thick tapestries, the lord of the castle rests in his bed. It's not just a bed, it's a monument. 4 tall wooden posts rise like columns at each corner, carved with leaves and beasts, their surfaces dark and gleaming with polish. Heavy curtains, thick as cloaks, hang from the canopy, drawn tight to keep in the warmth and block the draft. Inside that square of softness lies a world that could not feel farther from yours. The bed itself is high off the ground, so high it requires a stool to climb onto. It's piled with mattresses, one of straw, one of feathers, one of wool. Layer after layer of comfort, each chosen with care, each meant to soften the weight of a body, to embrace it in rest. Silken sheets, smooth and cool, blankets heavy with embroidery, pillows plump and perfumed with dried lavender, gathered from the gardens in summer. And overhead, the wooden canopy, carved like a sky of stars, offers shelter not just from drafts, but from worry. No rats scurry here, no straw pokes through the fabric, no other bodies crowd nearby. The fire in the hearth still glows, low, orange, gentle. Its warmth spills into the chamber like a sigh. The stones of the floor are covered in rugs. The windows are shuttered tight. The air smells faintly of beeswax and rosemary. The Lord sleeps well. He dreams in silence, and if he stirs, it's only for a sip of spiced wine, left waiting on the bedside table. Servants will come at dawn, quietly, to light new candles, stoke the fire, and lay out garments for the day ahead. But none of that is for you. You're still below, still pressed against stone, still wrapped in wool and shadow. Your dreams, if they came, were simpler. Not grand feasts or gallant battles, just warmth, quiet, a patch of softness. Even now, half asleep, you can imagine the Lord's bed. You've seen it, once, from the doorway, carrying in a bundle of wood or helping with a chest. You remember the hush in that chamber, the way voices lowered automatically, as though reverence lived in the air itself. And yet, there's something curious about the contrast, something almost comforting, because while his bed is layered with fabrics and finery, yours is layered with stories. Your straw remembers every back that has rested here. Your blanket, though thin, is stitched with the wear of many winters. The wall beside you holds the warmth of your body like a stone warmed by sun. And the company is different. Upstairs, the Lord sleeps alone, apart, surrounded by wealth, but not by voices, not by laughter, not by snores, or soft coughing, or the shuffle of feet in the dark. Down here, you are part of something older, a shared rhythm, the breath of many lungs moving together in sleep. You remember vaguely the time before this castle, nights spent in cottages with thatched roofs, beneath woolen cloaks on earthen floors, in a crowded loft above the animals. And truly, this is not so different. The straw still rustles, the night still settles, and the stars, even when hidden, still spin above, slow and sure. Your thoughts wander again. You wonder if the Lord dreams of lands he will never visit, if his feet grow cold despite the furs, if he ever lies awake, listening to the same wind that whistles past your window slit. You imagine him stirring, perhaps, turning in his great bed, waking to silence, and you, turning too, but not alone. Someone nearby shifts, breathes, murmurs something half-formed in a dream. There's a strange comfort in that, in the presence of others, even in sleep. A creak in the wood above reminds you that the castle is always moving, breathing, groaning beneath its own weight, holding secrets in every stone. You open your eyes briefly, just enough to catch a soft glimmer of moonlight still lingering on the wall, faint now, fading. You wonder how many feet have walked these halls barefoot in the night. How many servants have carried their blankets to the fire and slept sitting up? How many hands have placed new logs in the hearths above, careful not to wake their masters? You are part of that lineage now, not named in books, not carved in stone, but remembered in the quiet places, in the worn grooves of the floor, in the threadbare edges of your blanket, in the faint imprint your body leaves in the straw each morning. You feel sleep brushing close again, gentle this time, not dragged by exhaustion, but invited by stillness. The cold hasn't left, but your body, used to it, no longer resists. You close your eyes once more, letting the image of the Lord's bed dissolve, not with envy, but with peace, because you know something deeper, that even here, on the stone, beneath the beams, surrounded by breath and silence, you've found a kind of rest, not rich, not soft, but real. And tonight, for a little while longer, it is enough. The castle above you sleeps. Heavy stones cradle noble dreams. Dreams of hunting parties, feasts, marriages sealed with golden rings. But down here, where the firelight doesn't reach, dreams take on a quieter tone, less adorned, more grounded. Like earth instead of marble, you stretch your legs again, careful not to bump into Ewan. He mutters something in his sleep, then stills. Even unconscious, his body remembers the rules of shared space. No kicking, no sprawling, just curling inward, like leaves closing at night. You think again of the Lord's chamber. There are servants who see it daily, scouring the floors with rags, shaking out blankets, lighting the fire before dusk. You heard them whispering once, describing the softness of the furs, how even the dog that sleeps at the Lord's feet rests on a cushion, how the candles never run low, how the air smells always of honey and clove. A different world, not better, just distant, one you float near, but never enter. And that's all right, because what you have, though plain, has its own rhythm. Your hands are calloused, yes, but strong. Your feet ache, yes, but they carry you still. And your bed, if it can be called that, welcomes you not with luxury, but with familiarity. The straw beneath you was swept fresh 2 nights ago. You remember doing it, spreading it by hand, smoothing it out, shaking away the old bits. It smells faintly of the stables, not unpleasant, just earthy. You know every creak in this room, every step that groans, every corner that collects the night's cold. There is comfort in knowing your space so well. A draft finds its way through a crack in the wall. It slips along the floor, touches your toes. You tuck them closer beneath the blanket. The wool is itchy, but it holds your warmth in. Better than nothing, better than before. And for a moment, you wonder, what would you do if you were in the Lord's bed? Would you sleep better? Or would you lie awake, marveling at the ceiling, at the silence, at the strangeness of so much comfort, perhaps the softness would confuse your body. Perhaps you'd miss the company of others breathing nearby, the low sounds of straw shifting and cloth settling. Perhaps the cold stone beneath your feet has taught you something, not just how to endure, but how to rest even when the world is imperfect. Even now, your body begins to sink again, back into stillness, back into surrender. Above you, the noble sleeps on linen. You sleep on straw, but you both dream, and maybe, in the quiet hush between breaths, those dreams meet somewhere in the middle. A meadow, a fire, a memory. You let your mind wander there, to open fields beyond the castle, to the river where the water is clean and cold and fast, to a quiet hill where the wind sings through the grass and the ground is soft with moss. It's not real, not tonight, but the thought is gentle enough to warm you. A thought can do that sometimes. You roll slowly onto your other side, careful again. You hear someone else do the same, just a few feet away. In this room, sleep is not silent. It breathes with many lungs. It shifts and rustles. It sighs. You recognize these sounds. They've become part of your world. In the Lord's room, sleep is still. Too still, perhaps. Nothing moves unless commanded. Nothing speaks unless permitted. But here, even in rest, life hums quietly, like the low thrum of a cello. You think of your mother, long ago, telling stories beside the fire. You remember sleeping beside her and your siblings, all tucked close on one pallet, sharing body heat, laughter, silence. It wasn't easier then, but it wasn't lonelier either. You hold that memory close. Even the cold can't reach it. A soft thump sounds somewhere outside the room. A door closing, maybe. One of the guards doing his rounds. It's far away. Not urgent. Nothing is urgent here. Not at this hour. Your limbs begin to feel heavy again. The kind of heaviness that comes before deep sleep. Not the aching weight of fatigue, but the grounded stillness of surrender. Your mind flickers once more to the Lord's chamber. You picture his hand resting on a fur blanket, his eyes closed, a ring still on his finger, his breathing slow. And in that thought, something unexpected stirs. Not envy, not longing, but a quiet understanding. Everyone, no matter their bed, must sleep, must close their eyes, release their hold on the waking world, and trust the dark to carry them. You smile softly, just barely. Not everything in the world is divided. Stone and silk, straw and satin, they all lead, in the end, to dreams. And here, on this quiet night, in this low chamber of ancient stone, you are ready to drift once more, not into a dream of castles, but into the hush that lives between one breath and the next. The stillness grows thicker now. It settles over the room like a second blanket, invisible, but felt. Even the straw seems quieter, as if it too is beginning to sleep. A soft snore rises from across the room. It's a low, rhythmic thing, not unpleasant, just another part of the night's fabric. You're not sure who it is. Maybe Tom from the kitchen. He snores when he's truly tired, which is most nights. The sound isn't intrusive. If anything, it anchors you, a reminder that you're not drifting alone. This is something the Lord will never hear up in his chamber. No quiet snoring, no murmured dreams, no rustling of bodies settling into peace. His nights are silent, perhaps to the point of emptiness. But down here, sleep is a shared ritual, a slow exhale that passes from one soul to the next. You curl your knees a little closer to your chest. The motion stretches your back, just enough to loosen the ache from yesterday's labor. Your fingers brush the stone wall again, cool and solid, its texture unchanged from 1 hour to the next. There's something grounding in that. While the world above may turn and change, lords rise and fall, banners shift colors, seasons march across the sky, the stones remain. They remember. This very stone may have cradled the sleep of someone long gone. A soldier, perhaps. A nursemaid. A monk with ink-stained hands. And now, it holds you. Not gently, but faithfully. You sigh. A long, soft sound. And your breath is visible again in the faint moonlight. A little cloud, rising, then gone. Outside, the castle's stone skin meets the night wind. But in here, it is still. Still enough for even small sounds to be noticed. The crackle of a cooling ember, the shift of a blanket, the deep settling of someone's chest in sleep. You can almost imagine the castle breathing. Inhale, the hush of wind through the upper halls. Exhale, the creak of timber and the silence that follows. It doesn't frighten you, not anymore. The creaks and whispers are part of the place. Just like you think for a moment of the guards posted outside. One stands in the tower, looking over the valley, wrapped in furs. Another paces near the gate. A third, perhaps, leans against the wall, humming quietly to himself, trying to stay awake. They won't sleep until dawn, and even then, only briefly. On benches, maybe, wrapped in cloaks. Their beds make yours look soft. And just like that, a strange gratitude stirs in your chest. It's not luxury you feel, but enough. You have enough. A blanket, a patch of straw, a space to lie still, a body that, despite everything, still bends, still breathes, still dreams. And here, in this quiet breath, between midnight and morning, that is all that matters. You roll once more, not because you're uncomfortable, but simply to feel your weight shift, to remind yourself that this body is still yours. The others are fully asleep now. No voices, just the occasional sound of breath, the rustle of wool, the soft hum of rest. You stare toward the ceiling, can't see it, but you know it's there. Thick beams running across the stone, holding centuries of weight above you. You imagine the noble's canopy, its carvings, its silken drapery. It must be beautiful. But beauty lives in many forms. There's beauty in the way this room smells, faintly of bread baked earlier, of hay and earth and ash. There's beauty in how your blanket holds the warmth of your body, in how Ewan, in his sleep, inches slightly closer, as if drawn by the heat. You let him. No need to move. You're both simply trying to stay warm, to sleep, to exist, quietly. In this castle, some dream of glory, others dream of tomorrow's duties. You dream of peace, of hands not needed for labor, just for holding, of a moment when your body feels safe, not simply still. And tonight, just tonight, you have come close. Not because the bed is soft, not because the room is silent, but because you've surrendered to it, because the stone, cold though it is, has stopped feeling like an enemy. It has become part of your sleep, a partner in your rest. You let out one more breath, slow, easy, and close your eyes again. Not with force, not with hope, but with trust. Somewhere above, the Lord may be stirring, reaching for his wine, grumbling at the cold that even his fire can't chase fully away. But you You are already drifting, and the straw welcomes you back. The stone beneath your feet, once harsh, is now simply the ground of your dreaming. You do not resist it. You let go, and sleep, quiet, slow, and honest, finds you again. The longer you lie still, the more the silence begins to feel like something alive. Not loud, not restless, just present. It doesn't demand attention. It doesn't press against your thoughts. It simply is. Like the stone beneath your back, like the air between your fingers, you feel yourself dissolving into it, gently. The boundaries between your body and the room start to blur. You are no longer just a servant lying on straw. You are part of the night, a piece of the castle, a thread in its great, quiet tapestry. You hear it again, that slow creak in the wood above, not from footsteps, just the timber stretching, sighing under the weight of centuries. It's a sound you've heard before, yet somehow it always feels new, like the castle is turning in its sleep. Even in its age, it lives. You imagine what these walls have witnessed. So many nights like this, nights without light, nights of storms, of prayers, of peace, servants, soldiers, scribes, all lying just like you are now, eyes half closed, listening to the same silence. It's a hum that outlasts names and titles, a rhythm stronger than any crown. And as you lie there, still breathing slowly, you begin to feel protected by it. Not comforted exactly, not coddled, but held. The silence wraps around you like old wool. Scratchy, yes, but warm. You imagine the rooms above and around you, stacked like puzzle pieces. The Lord's chamber, high and grand. The chapel, dark and still. The armory, full of metal at rest. The kitchens, cooled after fire. The towers, stretching into sky. All of them asleep. Even the rats, usually so busy by night, seem to have paused. No scurrying, no chewing, just stillness. And in that stillness, your mind finally lets go. You think less, feel more. Your hands rest soft against your chest. Your feet have stopped twitching. Your shoulders no longer resist the shape of the ground. Sleep does not come suddenly. It arrives like fog on a river, slow, silent, covering thought inch by inch. But before it fully settles, a flicker of awareness returns, just enough to notice the soft breath beside you. Ewan has turned in his sleep, not away, toward you. His forehead is near your shoulder now, his breath warm, steady. There's something deeply human in it, in sharing warmth, in sleeping near another heartbeat, not for love, not for want, just for survival, for stillness. No words are needed, no thoughts, just the breath and the silence. You imagine again the noble upstairs, his bed large enough for 4, but he sleeps alone. He does not hear another body breathing near. He does not feel the rough scratch of shared wool. His bed may be softer, but your rest is not lesser. It is quieter, more real. The castle agrees. It creaks again, soft and low, like a lullaby sung by stone. Perhaps, somewhere in its ancient design, it was built to hold more than bodies. Perhaps it was built to cradle moments like this, moments when time slows, when even the cold becomes familiar, when silence becomes enough. You let your eyes close again, and this time, you do not open them. There is no more need, no reason to wonder what hour it is, no need to shift your limbs again. Everything is still. The room, your body, your thoughts, even the past and future seem to pause, and for the first time in what feels like many nights, You do not wait for sleep. You simply let it take you, softly, fully, like a hand lowering you into warm water. You go, willingly. The silence does not follow. It stays, wrapped around your body, holding the shape you leave behind. And the castle keeps breathing. It is deep night now, the kind of hour that lives between thoughts, between dreams, when even the wind seems to tread lightly. The castle is asleep. Not just the people, but the place itself. The halls, so full of echoes by day, are now still. Their walls no longer hold voices, but shadows, soft ones, long ones. The stone seems to sigh with you. Not aloud, of course, just in feeling. It breathes, not with lungs, but with age. Hundreds of winters have passed over these walls, and each one has brought with it 1,000 quiet nights, just like this. Nights where breath fogs the air, where footsteps still, and nothing moves except the memory of movement. You lie still in your bed of straw. The blanket has warmed to your body. You no longer notice the cold. Not truly. It has settled into you, become part of the room, part of the rhythm. You inhale, the scent of stone dust and linen. You exhale, and with it, a part of the day leaves your chest. No torches burn here. No candlelight dances on the walls. There is only the faint glow of moonlight. When clouds part, a silver breath across the floor. Somewhere far above, on the battlements, a guard leans against the wall. He watches the sky, not for enemies, but for the stars. They are out tonight, clear and steady. Old companions. Some say they are the eyes of gods. Others, lanterns of the dead. To you, they are just light, gentle, faraway light, a reminder that even the darkness has texture. You close your eyes again, but sleep does not come immediately. It lingers nearby, patient, and so you listen to the room, to the castle, to the silence, but it is not true silence, not absence. No, it breathes. It hums. There is a rhythm, if you listen long enough. The faint drip of water from a leaky stone. The occasional groan of old timber adjusting to the cold. A murmur from someone dreaming beside you. It's a lullaby written by time. A symphony of quiet things. You begin to feel the shape of the castle around you. The curve of the walls. The weight of the ceiling. The vast space above, great halls and staircases and empty galleries, all sleeping. You imagine them, softly, the great hall with its long table, now bare, the banners hanging, unmoving, the hearth with coals buried in ash, the chapel, silent stone arches worn smooth by prayers, no candles lit, no voices raised. Even the kitchen, always bustling, has stilled. The knives are clean, resting. The bread is cooling somewhere in the dark. And the animals, in the stables, they sleep too. Horses with heavy breath, hooves tucked under, chickens huddled together, the dog curled in a ball, tail touching nose. Everyone is resting, and the silence wraps them all. Not like a blanket, but like a pause in a song. You shift a little. The straw answers with the softest rustle, and then stillness again. It's in these moments that the mind drifts, not to tasks or memories, but to feelings. You think of the word home, what it means truly. Not safety, always, not comfort even, but presence. A place that knows your body, your breath, the sound of your feet on its floor. And in this moment, this cold room, this shared sleep, feels like home. You breathe in again, and the silence breathes with you. Above, the moon continues its slow path, a soft sentinel, watching over stone and straw alike. And for just a moment, everything feels connected. The cold air on your cheek, the warm breath against your chest, the heartbeat that slows as your body begins to surrender. There is no fear here, no rush, no noise, only the breath of old walls. The castle will hold you. It has held many. It knows how. And so, you let go. Not into dreams, just yet, but into stillness. That perfect, heavy quiet, where the world feels far away and your own breath is the only sound you need. The longer you lie still, the more the silence begins to feel like something alive, not loud, not restless, just present. It doesn't demand attention. It doesn't press against your thoughts. It simply is, like the stone beneath your back, like the air between your fingers. You feel yourself dissolving into it gently. The boundaries between your body and the room start to blur. You are no longer just a servant lying on straw. You are part of the night, a piece of the castle, a thread in its great, quiet tapestry. You hear it again, that slow creak in the wood above, not from footsteps, just the timber stretching, sighing under the weight of centuries. It's a sound you've heard before, yet somehow it always feels new, like the castle is turning in its sleep. Even in its age, it lives. You imagine what these walls have witnessed. So many nights like this, nights without light, nights of storms, of prayers, of peace, servants, soldiers, scribes, all lying just like you are now, eyes half closed, listening to the same silence. It's a hum that outlasts names and titles, a rhythm stronger than any crown. And as you lie there, still breathing slowly, you begin to feel protected by it. Not comforted exactly, not coddled, but held. The silence wraps around you like old wool. Scratchy, yes, but warm. You imagine the rooms above and around you, stacked like puzzle pieces. The Lord's chamber, high and grand. The chapel, dark and still. The armory, full of metal at rest. The kitchens, cooled after fire. The towers, stretching into sky. All of them asleep. Even the rats, usually so busy by night, seem to have paused. No scurrying, no chewing, just stillness. And in that stillness, your mind finally lets go. You think less, feel more. Your hands rest soft against your chest. Your feet have stopped twitching. Your shoulders no longer resist the shape of the ground. Sleep does not come suddenly. It arrives like fog on a river, slow, silent, covering thought inch by inch. But before it fully settles, a flicker of awareness returns. Just enough to notice the soft breath beside you. Ewan has turned in his sleep, not away, toward you. His forehead is near your shoulder now, his breath warm, steady. There's something deeply human in it, in sharing warmth, in sleeping near another heartbeat, not for love, not for want, just for survival, for stillness. No words are needed, no thoughts, just the breath and the silence. The castle agrees. It creaks again, soft and low, like a lullaby sung by stone. Perhaps, somewhere in its ancient design, it was built to hold more than bodies. Perhaps it was built to cradle moments like this, moments when time slows, when even the cold becomes familiar, when silence becomes enough. You let your eyes close again, and this time, you do not open them. There is no more need. No reason to wonder what hour it is. No need to shift your limbs again. Everything is still. The room, your body, your thoughts. Even the past and the future seem to pause. And for the first time in what feels like many nights, you do not wait for sleep. You simply let it take you, softly, fully, like a hand lowering you into warm water. You go willingly. The silence does not follow. It stays, wrapped around your body, holding the shape you leave behind. And the castle keeps breathing. The silence now is complete, but it is not empty. It is full, thick with memories, breath, and stillness. Like a great blanket stretched over the entire castle, tucked gently into its corners, keeping every dreamer warm, no matter their place. You lie still, so still that you begin to hear your own heart again, not loudly, just enough, just as if it were echoing softly through the walls, like water dripping slowly in the dark. Your breath has become shallow, not out of fear, but because nothing more is needed. You've reached that space, just before sleep, not fully awake, not yet dreaming, a place in between, a quiet hallway inside yourself. And in that space, the castle feels alive, not bustling or bright. No, alive in the way trees are alive in winter, quiet, rooted, listening. You imagine the stones, all stacked in place centuries ago, each one carefully placed by tired hands, each one holding the weight of history now. You wonder, did the mason who laid this very wall pause, just for a moment, to rest his fingers against the cold surface and breathe, like you are now? Did he know this room would one day be filled with sleeping bodies and dreams softer than straw? There's something sacred in that thought. Not religious, exactly, just sacred in the sense of age, of purpose, of quiet endurance. You shift your fingers slightly. The blanket pulls across your chest. A tiny sound, barely there, but in the great hush of night, it feels like a wave. You begin to forget the day, its noise, its labor, even its rhythm. Here, there is only the pulse of night, a rhythm so slow, so ancient, it feels older than breath. The candlelight is gone. The moonlight has faded. Clouds must have gathered outside. And still, nothing feels dark, because you've grown used to this dimness. Your eyes have made peace with shadow. You can make out the shapes of others. Figures curled under cloth, heads resting on arms. No faces, just outlines, like statues carved from quiet. One body stirs, then stills. The blanket shifts. The straw whispers, but no one speaks. No one has spoken in hours. Words would feel too sharp now, too sudden, too awake. This is not a place for words. It is a place for surrender. You let go of your shoulders' tension. Let your spine relax against the uneven floor. Let your toes uncurl. There's no point holding on to the tightness. Not now. Not here. This silence welcomes soft things. Breath, sleep, even softness of thought. And so, your mind begins to wander again. Not with questions, not with plans, but with images, faint ones, like dreams peeking through heavy curtains. You imagine a candle being lit in the distance, someone preparing to rise early, a baker, maybe, or a monk. You picture their hands cupping the flame, shielding it from the draft, their steps quiet, their presence almost holy, but they are far away. Their world hasn't touched yours yet. You are still wrapped in the breath of the castle. You wonder if the stone knows how long the night has lasted. if it counts the hours as you do, or if it simply accepts each moment as it is. Time moves differently here, slower, more forgiving. No clocks, no bells, just the gentle ticking of breath, the turning of dreams. And just like that, your body grows heavier again. Your limbs seem to float in place. Your mind softens, edges blur. You're no longer lying in a castle. You are part of the castle, part of its silence, its memory, its deep and endless patience. You have entered its rhythm, the breathing stone, the echoing halls, the resting straw. And this time, sleep does not drift in like fog. It arrives like dusk on a quiet hill. Sure, final, calm. It pulls over you, not like a curtain, but like twilight, a soft transition, so natural you don't even notice when it has fully settled. There are no more thoughts, just weight, warmth, breath, and the silence that breathes ever so gently through every stone, every timber, every soul resting in its shadow. The silence holds, but not forever. Even in the most peaceful of nights, sleep carries with it a strange cargo, memories, aches, thoughts that never quite go quiet. And in a medieval castle, where the cold is constant and the dark has depth, those whispers of discomfort sometimes rise like mist. You do not wake with a start. No gasps, no cries, just a slow drift upward, as if your body remembered something before your mind did. You stir slightly. The straw beneath you has shifted. A sharp piece pokes at your spine. You roll gently, trying not to disturb the warm pocket your body had formed in the blanket. The dream you were having, you can't recall its details now, only that it left a faint taste of unease, like smoke or the sound of distant hooves. Nightmares, in this place, are not made of monsters. They are made of hunger, of duties forgotten, of boots left unclean, or a name spoken too loudly in the Lord's presence. They are small worries that grow heavy in the dark, worries that creep in with the cold. You shift again. Your legs ache from the day's labor, the muscles stiff, slow to stretch. A faint sound reaches you, not close, not urgent, just the faint squeak of a mouse, a reminder that you share this space with others, some with fur, some with dreams heavier than your own. You try to close your eyes again, but the discomfort lingers. Not pain, not fear, just presence. Your skin itches faintly beneath the wool, not from the fabric, but from the tiny things you cannot see. Fleas, maybe. Lice, perhaps. They are part of this life. No one speaks of them in the great hall, but every servant knows the feeling, the soft tickle, the scratch that never ends. Still, you resist the urge to claw at it. That would wake you in, and it would do little good. So you breathe, slow, measured, the kind of breathing that tries to coax the body back into stillness. You listen again. The room is shifted. Someone else has woken. You can hear the quiet movements. A blanket pulled tighter. A soft groan as limbs stretch in sleep's aftermath. Perhaps they too felt the straw, or the itch, or simply woke from a memory too close to real. Medieval nights are full of such ghosts. Not the kind that rattle chains, but the kind that live in the body, in muscles, in joints, in the heaviness of a heart that never truly rests. Outside, a soft drip of water falls from a rooftop. You hear it, again, again, like the tick of a slow clock, unseen, but constant. The air is cooler now. You hadn't thought it could be, but it is. Your breath feels sharper as it enters your lungs. Your fingers curl instinctively beneath the blanket, seeking warmth that no fire reaches. There is no hearth in this room, no glowing coals to chase the night away, and so your warmth must come from within, from the closeness of others, from the rhythm of your own breath. You remind yourself, this is how they lived, all of them, every servant, every squire, every child tucked into a corner. The discomforts are old, not cruel, just ever present, like moss on stone. You feel the tightness in your lower back, the dull weight of too many hours bent over buckets. You remember the cut on your palm, small but raw, earned while lifting wet firewood. These aches do not scream, they whisper, but in the still of night, a whisper feels loud. Still, you do not move. You wait, because you've learned that even these moments pass, that sleep will return, not because the discomfort ends, but because your body, at some point, simply gives in. The stone does not soften, the blanket does not thicken, the air does not warm, but you adapt, slowly, quietly. You always do. A new sound rises, a distant clatter, wood on stone, a pot, perhaps, or a bowl unsettled by a rat. Nothing serious, nothing new, just the castle shifting in its sleep again. Just life, as it always was. You close your eyes once more, and though your skin still itches, though your spine still feels the edge of stone, you begin to let go again. Not into dreams just yet, but into surrender. Because this is not a night to chase comfort. It is a night to rest within discomfort, to find stillness in the ache, to wrap yourself, not in furs, but in the knowledge that you are not alone in this. All around you, others shift too, others itch, others ache, and still, they sleep, and so will you. The nightmare is not the cold. It is not the fleas. It is not the hunger that hums quietly in your belly. The true nightmare would be forgetting that even through these hardships you endure, and in that endurance there is peace, quiet, rough-edged, unpolished, but peace all the same, the kind that comes not from silken beds, but from ancient stone and the breath of those who came before you. And so, you let the castle hold you once more. You close your eyes, let your breathing slow, and fall again into a sleep shaped by age, by patience, and by the gentle, relentless rhythm of a medieval night. The minutes pass. They stretch slowly, like threads unwinding in the dark, but they do not pull you apart. They hold you, even when sleep resists, even when discomfort lingers at the edges. You are awake, but not fully. Your thoughts are quiet now, drifting, wandering through memories that feel more like fog than fact. You think of your childhood, a different straw bed, a different chill. You remember the sound of your mother's hands shaking out blankets, the way her breath clouded in the air, just like yours does now, the way she tucked your feet beneath your sister's legs for warmth. No fire, but the comfort of bodies close together. You learned then what warmth really meant. Not heat, but presence. And that lesson returns to you now, in this cold stone room, shared with others whose names you know, and whose sleep patterns you've memorized. There's a cough, a sniffle, a low dreaming sigh, all familiar. These aren't intrusions. They're reminders that you are not alone in this dark, nor in these aches. A sudden itch rises behind your ear. You scratch it, gently, slowly, trying not to think too much about what caused it. You'll wash again tomorrow, though you know it won't help much. There is no soap strong enough for castle life, no water hot enough to chase every discomfort away. Still, you'll scrub because it gives the illusion of control, and sometimes illusion is enough. Another dream tries to form behind your eyes. Not quite a nightmare, not quite a memory, just fragments. You see the great hall lit with torches, tables full of food you'll never taste, laughter echoing off the stone. And at the far end, a figure sits in the Lord's chair. But it's not him, it's someone else, someone you knew long ago, whose face is both familiar and distant. You can't hold on to the image. It slips away like a shadow pulled by wind. And again, you stir. Your side is stiff now. The floor, for all its familiarity, shows no mercy. You try turning, adjusting the way your legs lie, tucking your feet under the blanket again. Your hip finds a slightly softer patch of straw. Not comfort, but something near it. You breathe out slowly, letting the breath stretch, hoping it carries the weight of your body with it. Another drop of water falls outside. You count the space between them. 1, 2, 3. It's steady now. A rhythm, like a clock you didn't know existed, like a monk's quiet bell. You cling to it. Let your mind rest on the sound. There's peace in repetition. The scratching in your skin has eased. Your joints are warmer now. Perhaps from the blanket, perhaps from surrender. Your body has stopped resisting. That's what sleep demands, sometimes. Not perfection, not peace, but permission. And tonight, even with the aches, you begin to offer that permission again. You feel the breath of the person beside you, a soft current of air, steady, grounding. You match your breathing to theirs. It helps. It always does. There's a comfort in synchronicity, in the knowledge that another heart nearby is slowing with yours, that another body is surrendering just as you are. You think of the Lord again. He sleeps upstairs, in a room where the fire never dies, where furs are layered thick, and wine is kept within reach. But he sleeps alone. He does not hear the breath of others. He does not feel the weight of history pressed into the same blanket. You wonder if he dreams at all, or if his bed is too soft, his room too still, his air too scented with wealth to hold the shape of sleep. Perhaps his nightmares are different, of politics, of betrayal, of armies beyond the hills. Yours are simpler, and maybe more human. You fear forgetting the water bucket, breaking a dish, speaking out of turn, small things, but in your world, they matter. You've learned to carry these fears gently, like a pot balanced on your shoulder. You walk carefully, but you do not stop walking. Tonight, even the nightmares feel softer, their edges rounded by time. Your muscles still ache, but your body no longer protests. You're tired in a way that doesn't fight, just waits. And finally, you feel it, that slow pull, that invisible tide. Sleep, at last, rising again to meet you. It doesn't rush. It comes like shadow at dusk, like water filling a shallow bowl. You feel your arms go heavy first, then your legs, then your breath, long, deep. The last thought that passes through your mind is not a worry, not a memory, but a wordless sense that you are held by the dark, by the stone, by the breath of those beside you, and this time you do not wake. There is no more thought, no more itch, no more turning, only sleep, not the restless kind that comes and goes, but the heavy, slow-breathing sleep of those who have labored, of those who have yielded completely to the night. You do not dream in colors now, nor in words, just in the shape of warmth and the sound of breath, not your own. This sleep is older than language, older than castles, older than the straw beneath your spine. It belongs to the earth, to the stones, to the creatures that have rested here long before you, and to the ones who will come after. The castle cradles you now. Its walls do not speak, but they remember. The mortar, thick and worn, holds not just stones, but centuries of silence. And in that silence, you float. Time no longer moves the way it did. Minutes do not pass. They dissolve. The line between night and morning has faded. It is not important anymore. What matters is stillness. Not the kind that feels like absence, but the kind that feels like return. Return to yourself, to something deep inside you that knows how to rest without guilt, without fear, without effort. The body is still. The breath is slow. The world, for now, is distant. You are tucked deep into the quiet, like a letter inside a drawer. Not forgotten, just safe. Your chest rises, falls, soft, easy. The others around you sleep too. All of them. You feel their silence, as if it were a fabric drawn over the room. Their warmth mingles with yours, not touching, but near enough to know you are not alone, and the stone beneath you, though hard and cold, has accepted your presence. It no longer presses. It simply supports. You do not resist. You do not shift. You rest. Somewhere outside, the first breeze of early morning stirs the trees. A bird, far off, sings a single note, then waits. Even the birds seem to know. This moment is not yet morning. Not quite. The castle is still asleep, and so are you. This kind of sleep, this deep, wordless sleep, feels like falling into the hands of time itself. You are no longer a servant, no longer tired, nor cold, nor itchy. You are simply still, not gone, but so deeply here that nothing else matters. The aches of the day have faded. The sound of firewood splitting, the tug of a bucket's weight, the echo of footsteps in stone corridors, all of them have fallen away. You have followed them, not with effort, but with ease. And now, you are beneath the world, wrapped in a layer of night that feels as though it has always been there, waiting. You imagine, not consciously, but somewhere beneath your mind, what sleep might have felt like 1,000 years ago, when fire was new, when voices whispered across plains instead of walls, when people lay side by side under the stars, wrapped in furs and dreams of rivers. And somehow, you are there too. This sleep reaches back through time. It is not bound by your name, your duties, your fears. It is made of something older. And in that sleep, you are safe, not because of locks or walls, but because the world, just for now, has paused its motion. Even the stars, you imagine, have slowed their wheel across the sky, so as not to wake you. The silence deepens again, not quieter, but fuller. The castle does not speak, but it hums, with warmth, with weight, with ancient calm, and in its arms, you are weightless. The blanket no longer itches, the straw no longer pokes, the cold no longer stings. There is only the breath, yours and theirs, rising and falling, soft as dust. This is not the end of a night. It is the heart of it, the deepest part, the quietest, where dreams, if they come like clouds across water, gentle, passing, kind, And when morning arrives, and it will, as it always does, you will wake slowly, not startled, not aching, but whole, because this ancient sleep has mended something, not your body, but something softer, something deeper, and for now, that is enough. So, you sleep, and the castle sleeps, and the night sleeps with you, wrapped together, in stone, in straw, in silence. You do not remember falling asleep, but somehow you are far from your body now, not fully gone, just elsewhere, somewhere warmer, quieter, the weight of the blanket, the stone beneath you, even the sound of others sleeping, they have all softened into nothingness. You float, as if resting inside a great exhale, not of your own making, but the world's. Time too has fallen asleep. It does not move forward. It simply is, stretching wide and still, like a pool with no ripples. There are no bells here, no footsteps, no duties waiting on the other side. Only peace, unmoving, uncomplicated. Perhaps you are dreaming now, but there are no scenes, no stories, just the sensation of being held by something vast, gentle, and ancient. It feels like the sleep of trees, deep, patient, unhurried. It feels like the kind of rest you didn't know your body remembered. Perhaps it's older than you, older than this life, a sleep passed down through generations, a secret rhythm carried in your bones. This is the sleep that comes only when there is nothing left to resist, when your thoughts are no longer trying, when your body has made peace with the cold, the straw, the stone, when even the ache in your shoulder is no longer something to fix, but simply something that is like the sound of wind through distant trees. You're not dreaming of fields or castles, not of feasts or fires. You're dreaming of stillness, of breath, of the dark, not as a threat, but as a blanket that fits you perfectly. And perhaps, somewhere in that dream, you feel the castle around you, its great arms holding you, and every sleeper in its belly. You're not alone in this quiet. The walls know your name. The floor knows your weight. The night knows your breath. They have carried others before you, and they carry you now. No one will come to wake you suddenly. No call will tear you from this silence. The world, for now, waits. Outside, the hills rest beneath moonlight. The trees do not move. The river runs slow. Even the stars blink less frequently, as if trying not to disturb you. This sleep is not a retreat. It is a return to something your body always remembered, even when your mind forgot. A place before pain, before urgency, before noise. You are drifting now, but not away, inward, down through layers of quiet that feel more real than stone, down to where the heart beats slowly, to where each breath feels like the first, down to where the self loosens and floats. The straw bed is far beneath you now. You are not cold. You are not small. You are not waiting. You are simply still. And the castle sleeps with you, its bones made of rock and memory, its lungs filled with silence, its soul humming a lullaby in tones too old for language. This, perhaps, is what it means to belong somewhere, not to be known, but to be held quietly, without demand. And in this holding, you feel your last waking thread fade. Your breath slows again, so faint now, it is more suggestion than motion. Even your heartbeat feels distant, soft. You are no longer a servant in a castle, no longer a figure in the past. You are simply part of the night, part of the sleep, part of the long, slow hum that connects all dreaming bodies. You feel as though you could sleep forever, not because of exhaustion, but because this is what you were made to do, to rest, to restore, to return. The stone is not hard anymore. The cold is not cold. Everything has settled into one texture, weightless, wordless stillness. You do not dream of tomorrow. You do not need to. You are already home, already safe, already asleep. And in this ancient sleep, there is no end, only breath, soft as dust, stillness, deep as time, and silence, wider than the stars. The stillness has deepened to something beyond quiet. It has become a space, vast, weightless, and completely your own. You are no longer aware of where your body ends, or where the castle begins. Your breath no longer feels like effort. It is simply the wind passing through old branches, rising and falling, without thought, without fear. There is nothing more to do, nothing more to remember. The worries of the waking world, the buckets to carry, the wood to chop, the rules to obey, they have all faded, like the last flicker of a candle snuffed before dawn. Now, there is only this, the softness of complete surrender, the gentleness of being still without needing permission, the quiet that asks for nothing. You are not asleep in the way most people sleep. You are somewhere deeper, in that space where dreams have no color, and silence is a blanket thick as snow. You imagine yourself as a single ember in a vast hearth, not burning, not gone, but glowing softly with the warmth of 1,000 lives that came before you. You feel the presence of others, not beside you now, but beneath the surface of sleep itself, as if, in this ancient dreaming place, the past lies curled beside you, a farmer from the highlands, asleep under a different roof, a mason who once carved the very stones above your head, a child wrapped in fur by a crumbling wall, a monk resting after prayers. They are all here. Their sleep has not ended. It continues, like yours, unseen, shared. You breathe with them now, and they with you. This isn't loneliness. This is union, not with people, but with time. You are part of a night that has existed for centuries, not this particular one, but the idea of it, the weightless hour when all labor stops and the body returns to stillness. And in that stillness, there is healing, not flashy or fast, but slow and real. The kind of healing that rebuilds bones, that soothes the knots in muscle, that teaches your heart how to rest again. You no longer care if the straw itches or if the blanket slips, because your mind is elsewhere, slipped beneath layers of memory and moonlight, drifting between breaths. If sleep were a place, you would walk its fields now, barefoot, unhurried, with nothing to carry and nowhere to be. You move through its landscape like mist across old grass, quiet, soft, invited. Even the wind in your dreams knows to hush its song. Even the stars do not blink too brightly, because something sacred is happening, not dramatic, not extraordinary, just deeply, quietly human. Your body is restoring itself, not just from the day's work, but from years of holding tension, from the quiet aches that settled into your spine without you noticing, from the weight of responsibility, however small, however constant. And now, everything is loosening, as if the centuries themselves have reached down to untie the knots in your chest. You do not resist. You do not hold on. You simply allow. Allow yourself to be nothing. to be breath, to be warmth, to be a quiet thing in a quiet place. Outside, the sky is changing, not quickly, but in that ancient way it always has. The stars still hang, but the edge of the horizon has begun to pale. You don't see it. You don't need to. Your body knows. The castle knows. Morning is distant still, but coming. And yet, this does not disturb your rest, because the ancient sleep you've entered is not broken by light. It is deeper than the sun, more patient than dawn. Even as the crows stir in their nests, and the first hoof scuffs in the stable, you remain untouched. The world can wait. It always has. It always will. Because for this moment, this one perfect moment, you are completely at peace. No name, no burden, just breath and stone and silence. And somewhere in that silence, you sleep a little deeper, one layer further, one breath longer, as if the castle itself had drawn you close, pressed its old stone hand to your brow, and whispered, "Rest." And so you do, effortlessly, endlessly, wrapped in the deepest, kindest dark you've ever known. Your breath has become the rhythm of the earth, slow, steady, soundless. There are no more questions, no more moments to mark, no more thoughts to name, just the echo of silence wrapping around you like wool. This sleep has erased the edges of your being. You're not lying in the castle anymore. You are the castle, its stone bones, its shadowed corners, its breathless stillness. You dream without dreaming. No images, no stories, only sensations, faint and ancient, like rain on old wood, or footsteps on dry leaves in a forest long forgotten. If someone were to enter the room now, to whisper your name, to touch your shoulder, you would not wake, not out of resistance, but because you have sunk too deep to rise. There is no need to rise, not yet. The straw holds you like a nest. The blanket, rough and familiar, clings gently to your shape. The chill of the air has forgotten how to reach you. You are sealed in a warmth not made by fire, but by release. And as the castle continues its breathless dream, so do you. Above you, high in the rafters and along the towers, the first birds begin to stir. But their songs are soft, not chirps or cries, just small whistles of awareness. They feel the edge of morning, but morning is shy here. It has not yet stepped over the windowsill. The sky beyond the stone is fading from deep indigo to the gentlest gray, but the walls still hold the night. No light has touched your skin. No foot has fallen in the corridor. And still, there is the faintest change. Not a sound, not a sight, but a presence, as though the night is beginning to loosen its fingers. Not letting go, but preparing to. You do not notice, not truly, but some part of you begins to float higher, still in the sea of sleep, still far from waking, but lighter. You are not rising toward awareness. You are simply drifting upward within rest itself, like a leaf inside a still pond, lifted not by wind, but by breath. Your limbs remain still, your chest rises slowly, and the sleep, deep as roots, continues. But it has taken on a new texture. The absolute darkness of the night is thinning, not as threat, but as transformation. Even dreams, those quiet rivers in your mind, have begun to smooth into stillness. The castle senses it too. Its walls do not sigh. Its floors do not shift. But the silence now feels round, complete, as though it has reached its softest point. There is beauty in this turning, not sharp, not sudden, but slow, like the changing of a tide at night. The others in the room remain asleep. You can feel them without opening your eyes. Their breathing is like soft water around you. No one speaks. No one stirs. You are all resting inside the same great breath, a chamber of dreams, a hush built into stone and straw. And now, the light comes, not in beams, not in warmth, just in awareness. The air itself seems to grow thinner, not colder, but clearer. The moon, no longer watching, has slipped beneath the sky, and in its place, a hint of dawn sits quietly behind the horizon. Still no bells, still no calls, but you know, somewhere inside your sleeping form, you know, morning is not far. You do not fear it. You do not brace yourself. There is no hurry here, no urgency. The castle has waited all night to hold you. It will not rush to release you, so you stay, a while longer, beneath the slow turning of time. In your sleep, you sigh, a sound softer than the wind, and in that breath, you feel the weight of centuries lift just a little. The aches of yesterday, the whispers of worry, the itch of the wool, they have become small now, like distant bells over a wide plain. You're far away from them, wrapped in rest that needs no language, no shape, no reason. And when the light finally reaches your face, just barely, just enough to touch the curve of your cheek, you do not wake, not truly. You do not sit up. You do not speak. You do not stretch. You remain exactly where you are, safe, held, unmoved. The castle breathes around you still. It remembers your name, even if you do not. It holds your warmth like a secret between its stones. And in return, you offer it the last quiet moments of night. You stay, in sleep, in stillness, until the day calls gently, not loudly, not all at once, but with the quiet patience of the ancient world, a world that has seen countless dawns, countless sleepers, a world that knows that rest, true rest, cannot be forced. It must be invited. And tonight, you were. Now, the morning waits, and you sleep still, unbothered, unbroken, home,